G'day folks, and welcome to Gormo's Shed. Well, this week I've got a little idea for you. I just came up with it today actually, and it's homemade checker plate steel for little areas on your railway that you might want to put a plate down or something like that, or disguise whatever. And the idea is in my case for covering up magnets for magnetic uncoupling. I'll show you what I mean. Now if you have a look down here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 magnets there in between the sleepers, and it doesn't look too bad. And I've also got a little post just behind it here on the side where I can work out exactly where the uncoupling area is. And when my wagons go through there, you can see the coupling working there. And away we go. That's the whole idea behind that. And I thought, well, you know, instead of putting some planking across there is what most people do, I thought maybe I could put some static grass, and indeed I might do that in this location. But I thought, well, I don't want to do it on every single set of magnets because there's some further over, there's a few uncoupling points, and I thought it'd be nice to have a bit of variation in them, but it's still a way of identifying exactly where the uncoupling point is, instead of relying on a little post or a coloured marker or something like that. So I thought, what about a bit of checker plate? Because that would it's got that sort of industrial come railway look, and if you had a checker plate piece of steel here, a bit like a ramp I suppose, but just a bit of steel across there, you know, people could think, well, don't know what it's for, but you know, maybe there's a pit under there or something. So it's just another way of disguising the magnets. So I came up with a way of doing it at home, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, I'm just using air hardened modelling clay, and I'll just get a little bit of that, and then I'll show you the next stage. Okay, I've just got myself a ball of it out of the packet there, and it's about the size of a big marble, a big glass marble. So what I'm going to do now is turn that into a piece of checker plate. Believe it or not, then this is how we go about it. Okay folks, what I'm going to use is my vise, and if you have a look at the jaws here, this has a checker plate pattern on it. Maybe a bit too big scale wise, but I think it'll still look alright. So we'll just zoom in on that and have a look. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. So I'm going to use these jaws to create my checker plate, and it's pretty easy. I'll show you how I do it. Right, we'll just take our blob and we're going to stick it in the vise and flatten it out a bit. Stick it in there, just wind the jaws in. Till it's about 1 mil thick. And just gently peel it off. And there we have our checker plate pattern. Now I'm going to cut that to about 12 mils wide, and whatever the length works out to there. So it's a bit of hit and miss with this one. So we'll just get that onto a bit of steel and start marking it up. Okay folks, I've got a bit of snap-off blade that I'm going to use to cut it. And when I say cut it, I mean I'm going to actually chop it off using a straight edge. I'm not going to do the cutting motion as you would with the blade, but more of a chopping action. I'll chop down through it and then push the reject part away. And I'll use my straight edge to do it, so I'll just get set up with one side here. Now this is a good side, it's got a nice edge on it, so I'll start with that and just chop that off and drag it away. Now we've got a bit of a curve in it there, so I'll just straighten it up a bit. That's alright. And I'll do the same on the other side, but this time I'm going to make it about 12 mils wide, and so I've got to sort of be careful about how I do that. So it's about there, and same motion again. Being so soft, folks, you can always play around with it a bit once it's done. Drag that away. Now we've got a piece there. Just tidy that up a bit. And I'm going to square up this end just by eye. Take that away, just tidy it up. Now I'll just go and measure how much I need to cover the magnets. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, I need about 30 mil to cover the magnets effectively, which is about there. So, which is just about right actually. Bit of luck's come into it there. So I'll just snip that off there. And there we have our checker plate. Now we'll just tidy that up a bit, like so, and I'll just get under that. Now this being air drying clay, I think it takes a few days or so to actually dry hard. I'll have to look it up on the packet actually, and we'll try that, see how it looks on the railway. Right, there we go folks. Yes, as I said, this has got to dry for some time, and then of course it'll get some paint after that and a bit of a tidy up, but that's it. There we go. Okay folks, well we've just got to let that dry now, and I looked at the packet and it takes about 24 hours it reckons, depending on how thick it is, and it will dry to earthenware hardness, so that'll be pretty good. So I've got it set aside now on a flat bit of steel, and you know, just made sure all the edges are tidy and everything's neat and straight, and we'll just let it dry, and then once it's all sorted itself out, give it a stick it down, put a bit of paint on it, and I think it'll come up pretty well. Okay, that's your lot for the week. Cheers, Gormo.